The Door Chaser. This week I went for a walk, and I stumbled upon this old lock, lying open, with its combination set. It was in front of an open yard gate or door. I quickly closed the door and slid the lock in front of the door, as I didn't want to be associated with any activity that may be occurring at that open door. As I reflected on this for a couple of days, the Lord brought me to the following scripture. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things says he who is holy, he who is true, he who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens. I know your works. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it, for you have a little strength, have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Revelation chapter 3 verses 7 to 8. I have personally seen so many doors opened and closed in my life, where the Lord has orchestrated his divine direction regarding what doors to walk through, or which ones to approach via a different direction through his governance of my steps. One thing we do not talk about enough is a person's ability to stand before a door that the Lord himself has opened, yet fail to walk through it at his appointed time, thus effectively closing that door. Instead, they turn away from the very opportunity God has ordained and wander back into misdirection, complacency, and even disobedience. We have allowed Satan to manipulate us to become door chasers. The Satan wants to use three phases to discombobulate our balance while we are walking and seeking the direction of the Lord. In phase 1, he wants to amplify our physical needs by allowing our physical senses to go into overdrive. This hyperactivity is associated with sight, hearing, taste, smell and touch. He wants to manipulate the physical man to gain leverage to prevent us from walking through doors ordained for us. In phase 2, Satan uses the leverage he obtained through our senses to manipulate us emotionally. This manifests as anxiety, worry, fear, resentment, loneliness, anger, rage and jealousy. He will use outside emotional stressor to cause us to miss our open doors. He will use divorce, heartache, financial difficulty, sickness, disease and even death to cause us to live in this state of not seeing that the Lord is standing in the door of our solution. The Lord has given us deliverance. He has given us healing. He has given us his very blood. Yet we still choose to seek the alternative. We passive-aggressively put a demand on heaven that was already solved, but we don't want the solution that the Lord set for us because it is too hard on our emotions and physical stature. The word that I give to you is found in this passage scripture. For those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then, those who are in the flesh cannot please God. Romans chapter 8 verses 5 to 8. The Satan knows if we continue in the flesh, he can usher destruction into our lives. This is found in phase 3, the manipulation of our will, which is the bridge of our spirit man. He will use the very scriptures against us to ensure that we are found guilty of not satisfying the requirement of a spirit mind versus a carnal mind. The Satan wants us to pursue happiness on our own terms rather than walk through the door God has ordained for our good. His way strengthens us for endurance, while the pursuit of perceived happiness leads to an endless cycle of temporary pleasure and recurring suffering, a cycle orchestrated by Satan and sustained by our relentless pursuit of the wrong door. I want to encourage you today that Jesus is the one that stands at the open doors. He has set them before us to walk through them. He doesn't desire for us to look for alternatives. So today, hold on to and surrender to him. And those who are Christ's have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Galatians chapter 5 verses 24 to 25. It is time for us all to crucify the desires of the flesh and let them die. Hold captive to life in the Spirit.